finally found out, Bully, what the favor was. And you hit the nail on the head, sir, because the favor was, hey, Paul, we've been through a lot together. And you told me that one day you would be at WrestleMania. You told me that. And you said you would be by my side. So, sorry, Roman Reigns, but my favor is Paul Heyman by my side, night number 1 of the main event. And Roman's like, there's no way Paul Heyman is going to say yes to that. And Paul Heyman said yes.
Did you hear the clip from back in the day when he said that?
Yes.
Paul said that it's a dream of mine. He didn't say that, oh, I want to acquiesce to you going to the ring and be there for you. He said, no. He said, it's a dream of mine to go to the ring with you in the main event at WrestleMania. That should make Roman Reigns go, oh, whoa. The hell are we doing here? You're going to do what? And I'm not a shit disturber. Okay, yes, I am. But Roman should be pissed.
I thought Roman on Friday night was in disbelief. Like, he could not believe that Heyman's going to be on the side of CM Punk.
I wouldn't be in disbelief. I would be angry. I'd be like, no, you're my tribal chief. You're my manager. Why the hell are you going to go to the ring with somebody else? You dance with the date you brought.
I loved Seth in the segment, just laughing his balls
his
off.
Ass off. He
like,
was so
I told you so. I told you. I also want to bring up another little tidbit, and I mentioned this before, and I'm a little hesitant to talk about it, but since I talked about it once, no big deal. Carlito's Way. Do you remember that movie?
Oh.
Yes.
In the movie Carlito's Way, there's a line in which Pacino's attorney gets him out of prison, and he says, I'm gonna owe you a favor. And the attorney comes to cash in on the favor, and he tells him, a favor will kill you quicker than a bullet. I'm going to leave that out there because I think this favor comes back to bite CM Punk in the ass.
Okay.
That's just an opinion. Just throwing it out there.
I mean, I'm here for it. And it's funny you mentioned about Seth Rollins because, yes, he was laughing his ass off. But again, for me, and I'm just being honest, Seth Rollins feels like a third wheel, especially on Friday. Because I know there's a history between Seth and Roman, and I know there's a history between Seth and Punk, and it should fit. It just doesn't fit for me because Paul Heyman's enough to make me just want to see Punk go against Roman Reigns. I just feel like, and maybe that's what it's supposed to feel. Maybe it is Seth that's going to get more involved in this than we ever thought possible. I just continue to feel that Seth is a third wheel in this situation. Mark?
Just because you're in a main event don't mean you have to win it. What about Roman not being happy and him saying, you know what? I think I'm best by myself. No, my tribal chief, no. And then he goes to Punk. Well, I mean, Roman just gave me my walking papers. I guess it's just me and you, kid. Paul, all due respect, you're my best friend. I love you, but like, nobody speaks for Punk. I speak for myself. And Paul is just like, damn it. Who's left? Where do I go from here? Hey, Paul, what's going on? Look like you're having a bad run. And he ends up with Seth Rollins. Seth needs CPR. He needs the jaws of life to pull him out of the wreck that he's in. This could be the rebirth that we've been talking about. The spicing him up to make him. Paul can make the suggestion. You're concentrating too much on high heel boots and fancy outfits. What happened to the Seth Rollins that used to burn it down every night? And bring him back to who he was. And once will the real Seth Rollins please stand up? When that dude stands up, curb stones for everybody. Your mama, your cousin, the next door neighbor, everybody get a curb stone. Dirt nap, night night.
All right, Mark brings this up. Bully, do we see a situation where Paul Heyman could be by Seth Rollins' side?
I believe that they are setting the table, much like you tried to set me up just now, for a massive swerve where it looks like one thing is going to happen and then the other thing happens. So if Paul goes to the ring with Punk and Paul were to screw over Punk and stay with Roman, business as usual. If Paul were to screw over Roman for Punk, well, he's already really screwing him over by going to the ring with him, and then we'd have Punk and Paul aligned. Do we really need that? No. Out of the three, who can benefit most from an alliance with Paul Heyman that would be brand new and nobody would see coming? It's Seth Rollins. And I also spoke about this last week where I kind of was uncomfortable talking about it because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But we do have an obligation on this show to talk about what potentially can happen at any given moment in time. To me, the biggest shock is for Paul Heyman to be aligned with Seth Rollins. Look at what Paul Heyman was able to do for Brock Lesnar. Look at what Paul Heyman was able to do for CM Punk. Look at what Paul Heyman was able to do for Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins could use the booth too. Seth is probably where Roman was and where Punk was before the relationships with Paul started. Paul got all those others over the hump and propelled them to the next level. Paul and Seth, that's shocking moving forward. Everything else, I've seen it before.